Okay, very quickly before we get into it, she's mad at me because we just did this show. And we talked about it after we did it. We're like, this is really good. This is the one that's going to bring us to like a lot of subscribers. This was really good. That's what she was saying. And I was like, yeah, it's pretty good. And I walk away to go, move on to the next. And it wasn't recording. So she's slightly irritable. Big surprise, I know, for anybody who's regularly tuning in. But on today's edition of Vegas Valuations, we are talking about something that you are running out of time to see. They have announced. That's it. It's over. Game over, man. Game over. What is it, a show? Is it an experience? What do you want to call it?
I think it's more of an experience, but it has both.
It's an experience. And this experience has announced very publicly that they are out of here. April 29th, the final chance you'll get to check this experience out in beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada. It is Lost Spirits Distillery. What's up, Vegas fans? I'm Jamie.
I'm Ashley.
And hey, this is Vegas Valuations, where we talk about our Vegas experiences, our restaurants that we've eaten at, our resorts that we've stayed at, our shows that we've seen, and we give each of those a Vegas valuation out of 10. Now, for each of those shows, restaurants, insert whatever here, there is a criteria. And on the experience list, which is what we've deemed Lost Spirits Distillery, we're calling it an experience. The criteria is enjoyment, duration, vibes, and today's price. Then we factor all of that into a big mixing pot, and we give out a overall Vegas valuation out of 10. Nice work. That was synchronized, whatever you want to call it. Tell us about Lost Spirits Distillery.
Okay, first, what'd you forget?
Right. Like and subscribe. Typically I'm the one leaning on her to not forget. By the way, at the end of the show, we need your help. Mm-hmm. We'll get into that and just stick around for that at the very least. We'll get into it in a bit. But yeah, like and subscribe, or I don't know, hit the button. I heard another video don't forget to turn on notifications.
Oh.
I don't know what the hell that means.
Oh, maybe because you get a notification when we post something.
Oh, yeah, don't worry about turning on notifications.
Just subscribe.
Just subscribe. Look, if you want to check out the channel, cool, but I don't want to be, annoying you with something popping up on your phone. I feel like that's overkill. Yeah. This is the only channel where we'll tell you, don't worry about turning on the notifications.
Just like and subscribe.
Just like and subscribe. Okay, go ahead. What's Lost Spirits Distillery?
So it's... Well, a distillery.
Way to start strong. Oh my god. Oh, what's Lost Spirits Distillery?
I am gonna hurt you.
Okay, go ahead.
So it's a distillery. And it distills.
And it distills. It's a distillery that distills. Perfect.
I was going to say it distills
Wonder
rum.
why it's closing.
It distills rum. Mm. So for all you rum drinkers. But it's not just a distillery. So there's almost like a cirque kind of show, like a variety show. Mm-hmm. There's different stages throughout this distillery. So you're not seated. It's actually you're walking through and you're getting to enjoy all of these experiences.
Essentially, you're right. Mm-hmm. They distill rum, and this is an opportunity for you to try some of their rum. You get free, or the price reflects the drinks. I think you get 4 or 5 basically drinks with a punch card, and you're walking around this gigantic warehouse. It doesn't feel like a warehouse, though, because they've got it sectioned off into different rooms with different themes to correspond to the different types of rum. And while you're walking around in all of that, you're immersed with a bunch of performers, burlesque performers, variety performers. There's a jazz lounge incorporated in all of this. And again, you're kind of trying to navigate your way through this gigantic, maze. It does feel like a maze. Yeah. This very cool experience while you're looking for the places to punch your card and get your rum. And we'll talk more about that in just a little bit when it comes to the vibes or overall valuation. We'll squeeze it in somewhere. But I think that does a pretty good job in setting the stage.
Yeah.
What is your overall enjoyment level?
So I would have to give it an 8.5.
8.5 out of 10.
Yeah.
Tough to disagree with.
Yeah.
2 seconds. I'm just going to make sure we're recording. I'm super paranoid about it now.
Yeah, I would be too.
Good. Okay, 8.5 out of 10.
Yeah, so the reason why like an 8.5, I just feel like there is a couple of things that could have been a little bit more smooth, I suppose. So, I mean, one, location.
Yep. And we'll talk a little bit more about that when it comes to the overall valuation.
Yeah.
But
second, so when you come up to the Lost Distillery, it kind of seems like a bit of a, can I say shit show?
yeah, I think that's fine. And you're not wrong.
Yeah, like it was cool. Like walking up, it was cool because there was people walking around, like acrobatics and things like that. Like show people were walking around, and you're walking up to like this, almost like a yard bar type thing. And there's cool little, what were they? Like kiosks?
Yeah.
I don't want to call it a kiosk.
Okay,
though.
picture this. You're walking up in an old school circus.
Yeah.
That's sort of what it feels like. I mean, there's no clowns, but there's a lady with a snake. There's,
It's very neat looking.
I think there was even one guy spitting fire. Like, it was very, very cool. But what you're talking about in terms of to use your terminology, shit show, was the getting actual in, right? Because you got to go to like a box office, which is tucked off to the side. And
but then like there's a couple of them. So then like
it's confusing.
We walked up.
This is the show that just does not want to seem to end. Earlier in this show, you heard the story of we did a great first take. It was fantastic. We were really happy with it. Got it done in record time. And then I didn't hit record. So we had to restart it. And then, as you just saw, for some reason, our mics cut out halfway through the second recording of this show. And how long has it been? It's been like over a week. Mm-hmm. I had to go away for work on a conference. Things just got pretty busy. So this is take 3 for the Lost Spirits Distillery. We're not going to rehash everything we just went through. We're going to take it basically from right where we left off and try to get through this godforsaken episode so we can actually post it. Because as much fun as we have talking about it, it's beginning to feel a little silly at this point.
Yeah.
Okay, so where we were when our mics stopped working and the entire episode now, that's all I'm going to be thinking is, are the mics working? Do you think we're actually recording this? Yeah. Is there even any point in doing this? If we don't get through this, this is it. The channel ends today. We were talking about the shit show, as it were, in terms of getting into Lost Spirits Distillery. But we did, obviously, eventually we got in, and once we were inside, it was pretty fantastic. We've already given you a bit of a rundown in terms of what you can expect when you're in there. There's a few other things we want to touch on, but let's just get right to the duration of the Lost Spirits Distillery experience. And this is one of those things that it's pretty easy for us to give it a 10 out of 10, I think, because you pick.
Are you just taking over?
Oh, my God. Can you please just let me set the stage?
Well, you did, and you...
Yeah, but okay, look. There are times where I'll throw to her. I will literally throw a softball right down the middle of the plate, and she'll stare at me like, you want me to say something now? So sometimes I feel like I have to really just lob it over the plate for you to hit it out of the park. So go ahead. What is your Vegas valuation of the duration of the Lost Spirits Distillery, and why don't you explain why you're giving them that evaluation?
Well, I would give it a 10 out of 10. because you can basically leave whenever you want. So there's no set time. Like, yes, I think you can only be there for so long, but you can leave at any time in between that.
You're right. Yes. You essentially get to pick the duration of this experience. If you go in, you punch out all of your drink cards, your punch card for the rum, you can be in and out of there within 20 minutes. I wouldn't recommend that.
No.
Probably a great way to get sick. You're going to miss the vibes, but you're right. 10 out of 10 in terms of the duration sounds great to me because you get to pick. They do have 2 separate shows in the evenings. I think there's a 7 and a 9. So I would assume that you have to be out of there before the 9 o'clock show starts if you're in the 7. But aside from that, at no point, I don't think we stayed there for the full 2 hours. I think we were there for like an hour 10. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I like that Vegas valuation as a 10 out of 10 when it comes to the duration of Lost Spirits Distillery. Up next is the vibes, and we've talked a lot about some of the cool experiences, but this is a very awesome place, and you're running out of time to see it. Again, it closes very soon, as we've already alluded to. If you happen to enjoy taking selfies and photos of your Vegas experiences, because there are several different rooms and places to stop at, what is so goddamn funny?
Nothing.
Go ahead. No,
keep going.
Yeah, no, I'm out. You tell them. Go ahead.
Yeah, are you going to come over here?
No, I want you to take it for a minute.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I really enjoy the vibes. I think, like, all I'm doing is laughing now. There's many different areas within the building that, like, they've got these cool different rooms, as you were saying.
Exactly like I was saying, but go ahead.
Well, that was my whole point. You were just taking completely over.
Well, this is your chance.
I know.
I'm not even on camera. You go. I'm going to turn my mic off. And I won't actually turn it off because I'm afraid it won't turn back on. But you take it from here. Go ahead, please. Yeah.
So there's lots of different rooms that you can go to that have like a really cool vibe in there. I know there's one that you really liked, the submarine room. Do you want to speak about it?
Can I?
Yeah.
Oh my God. I'm so excited. Okay. So as we've said now 5 or 6 times on repeat, different vibes for different rooms. There is, I forget what it's actually called, like the submarine lounge or something along those lines, but they have their light switches or their lights on a mechanical arm. So you really sort of get the sense that you're rocking to the motion of the ocean in that room. And there are several very cool Instagram-friendly places to take a phenomenal photo. And we're rolling some photos right now. But again, very cool vibes.
Yes.
One of the things I think we should talk about is the rum itself. Because as we've discussed, it is a distillery, and you go in. Well, that was me poking fun at you. I don't know if it's easy. You can't just throw it back in my court.
I can't.
You get a punch card. So all of this other stuff going on, the shows, the performers, the vibes of the rooms, you want to punch your card at several different stations. I think it's either 4 or 5. Memory escapes, and you'll understand why in a second here. But as you proceed to these different stations, they punch your card, you get a sample of their rum. And we're not talking a little drink here. And this is straight rum.
Yeah.
It is not mixed. And so if you happen to be a rum connoisseur, a rum aficionado, this is going to be for you, this portion of this event, because you're really going to, it tastes like wood, and I don't know. We're not those people. In fact, you couldn't even finish, I think, 2. You were like, that's it, you have them. So in the span of that hour, 10 minutes, I think I had like 7 drinks. 7, maybe 2 ounce shots of rum. You're supposed to sip it. You're supposed to enjoy it. But we like our drinks mixed a little bit. We. But
we went a few years ago.
Yeah.
and I was actually looking, I think, on their Facebook page,
Yeah.
and I did see cocktails. So things may have changed.
Right.
So maybe they've gotten that feedback before, and maybe you can get either or now. I don't know, because we did go a few years ago,
That's
but this
true.
is our experience that we had, but it might have changed now. But yes, when we were there, it was like shots.
Right. And one of the other things, whether you like that or not, and maybe they've added the cocktail element, again, it doesn't seem to matter because it's game over. They're at the end of this month. And that was another reason why we're like, we really have to get this show done, because by the time it's done, maybe they're already closed. One of the things that I found was you're pretty drunk by like half an hour in, and it can be confusing in there in terms of what station. I remember distinctly, I think I went to the same station 3 different times to get my drink ticket, my card punched.
Like a maze in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, you said it, maybe that's what the vibe they're going for. Lost spirits. You're kind of wandering around going, where the hell am I going? So as you get progressively more inebriated, there are no, arrows on the floor like at IKEA to indicate where the heck you should be going. Again, I went to the same station a few times going, I'm here for my drink. They're like, sir, you've already got your drink from the station. Oh, okay. You want to go that way. And that way is just into the dark abyss. Very cool. I enjoyed it. I'm not knocking the process, but it did get a little confusing at times. And a few things to keep in mind when it comes to the vibes. Very cool aesthetic, very cool look. A lot of really fantastic places to take an unbelievable social media photo. But if you're sensitive to rum and you enjoy it more in cocktail form as opposed to just a straight glass of liquor, you're probably going to want to go with a group, someone that can be the leader in the drunken troop and say, this is where we got to go, because it does get a little confusing in there.
Yeah.
All of that being said, really enjoyed the vibes. Mm-hmm. It was a great Vegas experience. And I've said this, I think I said it in the last recording that didn't make it because our mics turned off. But to me, if this was on the Strip, it's probably one of the most talked about things
Absolutely.
In Las Vegas.
Mm-hmm. It's very cool.
I think their location hurts it. Yeah. And we can throw location into this conversation a little bit. Typically, if we're talking about hotels or resorts, we get deep into the location. That's actually a subcategory, not so much in the experience. But I do think that Area 15, you're not going to accidentally stumble upon Area 15. You have to make a concentrated effort to go there. You have to either jump in a cab or jump in an Uber, or maybe there's the bus that rolls by there. And I think as a result, that area probably doesn't get the hype and love it maybe should. Mm-hmm. So with that in mind, what would you give the vibes at Lost Spirits Distillery out of 10?
I would have to give it a 9.5.
9.5. 9.5. I don't disagree. For all of its flaws, that it was somewhat confusing.
It was cool. It
was a very cool experience. And how often can you walk, literally the stage of several stages? You can walk right up, and these people are right in front of you doing their acts, and you can't do that at a Cirque show. You'll get kicked out.
Yeah.
Right? So, the vibes, the Instagram-worthy photos, all that stuff, it's a very, very great atmosphere. I think there's 2 things hurting it. One is the location specifically, and the other, and maybe they fixed it a little bit, is not everybody is a rum expert or aficionado or a connoisseur. I think a lot of people enjoy the cocktails as opposed to the straight. But you're right, maybe they've changed that. So with all of that in mind, if, again, you're new to the channel, what we do is we factor everything that we've just talked about, the enjoyment level, the duration, the vibes, and then we hold that against the price and give you our Vegas valuation. So the general admission, this is what we did. You're going to see a couple of different options. There's the private box seats, the premium cocktail. We didn't do that. We just paid the general admission. It is $69. All right, now, this screenshot that you're seeing obviously doesn't line up with the dates we're posting because of the technical difficulties that we encountered when we were hoping to put the show together. But actually, I did learn something as a result of this unexpected delay. If you book well in advance online, you can probably expect to spend that $69. Now, the price may vary compared to weekday versus weeknight, But one thing I did see for certain is that they do jack that price up. And I think one of the reasons why they do this is that if you're not going to book in advance, you're going to pay more at the door. Today's price, not bad.
No.
Because like you were hinting at, that's everything.
Yeah, you get the stages, all the shows, the lounges, the submarine lounge that we were talking about, the distillery tour, and all your tastings.
Yeah, and you go to a Vegas show, you're probably going to be paying that and then drinks.
Yeah, or more.
Or more, right? Like a Vegas show could cost you, $80, and then you still have yet to buy drink tickets, or buy the drinks. This is all included, and I think the value is tremendous, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it is very good.
I've said it already, and I think it just remains to be the case. If this was on the Strip, I think it's still around, but unfortunately, as it points out on its website, COVID had something to do with it. It's really too bad. It's a very cool experience. We're actually going back, and we're going to get to that in a second. Going back to Vegas at the almost the end of this month, right? The countdown's on.
The 24th.
24th. We're going. Have we decided if we're doing this again?
I don't know. We were talking about it, and I think I don't know. We need to talk about it again. But if you're going from now until, what is it, the 29th?
I believe so, yeah.
You should check it out.
Yeah.
It is definitely worth it, and it is unfortunate that they are closing because it is a very, very cool experience.
It's kind of crazy, the number of things that are closing. Because now we've heard officially that, obviously, we even did a show on it. America's Got Talent Superstars is closing. Love just announced that if you have not, and we'll do a show on that before they close. They'll close in June. That one's coming to an end. And there are rumblings as well that Shin Lim is going too.
Oh.
Yeah, from what I understand, and this is all very preliminary, and I feel like we're going off the rails here. Mirage has quasi-announced to some staff that they're going to be actually fully closing that casino while they do some pretty major renovations. So, Aces of Comedy, we've done Aces of Comedy several times. It's garbage now. It really is, ever since Hard Rock took over, but maybe this is why it makes sense. They're fulfilling what contracts that they had, and then the rest of it's going to go by the wayside. So there's a couple of quick tips for you. If you haven't seen Love, if you haven't seen Shin Lim and Mirage, if you haven't seen Lost Spirits Distillery, if you haven't seen America's Got Talent Superstars, if those have been on your lists, you better go and see them quick because they may not be available very, very soon. Okay, all of that in mind, your overall Vegas valuations.
I think I'm going to have to give it a 9.5.
9.5 out of 10. I totally agree. It's the epitome of a Vegas experience. You walk in and it just has vibes. So, yeah, I think 9.5 is fantastic. Goodbye, Lost Spirits Distillery. We hardly knew ye. It is kind of a bummer. It's a very cool thing. We teased it at the beginning of the last show we did. And the last show. Same show, different recording date by over a week. We're going back to Vegas. We just talked about it.
Yes.
We do have a bit of an itinerary, but we need your help.
Yeah. So we're wanting to know if there's anything that you've seen that we should check out, or if there's something that's been on your list and you're not sure it's quite worth it, and you want maybe us to take a look for you and then let you know what our evaluations are. So we're going April 24th to the 30th, and looking for some of your guys' input.
Yeah, so comment below. If there's something that you want us to check out, we'll personally shout you out. Maybe we'll even do like a live from it, or I don't know. We'll do something to personally acknowledge the fact that this person reached out to let us know what they would like to see. We'd love to hear from you. And like I said, we do have a bit of an itinerary, some cool things coming up, maybe some, I don't want to say collaborations, but there's a chance we're going to hang out with another Vegas person. I don't like the term influencer. This person maybe could be considered an influencer. They got a pretty big following. But yeah, either way, let us know, and we'll try our best.
I am excited because I think somebody or something mentioned on our page one time the Hard Rock Vault.
Yes,
so we're going to.
That was them.
Oh,
they reached out to us and said we'll see you soon. So we're actually going to go see a rock vault, and we've done so much in Vegas now that we're kind of needing a little bit more feedback on
what to do.
On what to do. So comment, let us know, and yeah, we're gonna, for the first time, we're gonna rent a car.
Yeah.
We're gonna rent a car and take a bit of a day trip to outside of even Vegas, and gonna check out a hotel that is probably my waking nightmare. I'm looking forward to that.
Stay tuned.
Sort of, yeah, but stay tuned for stay tuned for all that other stuff we were talking about. We're gonna have to do a show on love. We haven't seen a lot of Cirque shows.
No, we haven't.
But it to me is one of my favorite shows in general, just because I love the Beatles.
Yeah. And our son is named Jude. As well, we'll have to do one on Shin Lim too. Yes, we will.
Both of those, I think, are just unbelievable shows. It really kind of bums me out, in fact, that Mirage is losing all these great things, because Mirage is probably one of my favorite as a resort in terms of just going to hang out. It's got a cool vibe, man. It really does.
I hope Hard Rock keeps some of that. I
hope they keep the smell. That's what I hope.
Right?
You walk into that atrium, you're like, I know exactly. I could be blindfolded. You walk me in there, you just push me into the Mirage.
Yeah.
Like, there's just some casinos, you know exactly where you're at just by smell. Anyways, we've gone way off the rails. This is a show that's been 3 weeks in the making. I'm glad it's done. I hope the mics worked. What do people need to do?
Like and subscribe.